In this video today, you're going to learn how to create an aim assist system that you can add to your project in Unreal Engine. And this will work whether you're on controller or keyboard and mouse. With that being said, did you know that 68.5% of all gamers use a controller? So if your game doesn't have a solid aim assist system, you're potentially missing out on a huge chunk of your potential audience. Right, with that in mind, let's get started. So if we just keep an eye on the red circle, this is the radius of the aim assist and where it will slow our weapon down to make our aim feel a little bit better. So here we are, I've just created a first person template in Unreal Engine, and we're going to go to the BP third person character or first person character, right click in the event graph, and we're going to start by getting the event tick. Now this does need to run on the event tick because we want it every single frame. Now out of event tick, what we're going to do is we're going to search for a trace by channel, and the type is going to be sphere, because we don't want a line trace because it will act very weird. So on the left hand side there on the components, we're going to drag out the first person camera. This is going to be the start of our line trace, or sorry, our sphere trace, and we're going to get world location out of that and add it to the start of the sphere trace. Next, we're going to get the forward vector, and we are going to multiply this by a float. So let's get the multiply and right click to float, and now we can put in the range of our line trace. I'm going to put 2000 like I always do, and we're going to add this, hold control, drag this little pin down, and we're going to add that to there and drag it into the end point of the line trace. Right, sweet. So now we have our sphere trace, but it is set to 0. So if we change it to something like 100 or 70, something that I usually use, you can see it goes into a sphere. So that is working perfectly fine. Let's change this back to 70 so it looks nicer and it's cleaner. If you want the radius to be bigger on your aim assist, then that is the value that you would change. So we're just going to highlight everything here, press C to comment it, and name this line trace, which is going to run every single frame of our game. Now, out of out hit, we are going to get break hit result, and just a little drop down arrow here, drag out of hit actor, and we're going to get the actor has tag. And we'll be using this later to see if the actor that we hit is an enemy and if to start the aim assist. So let's add a variable, and the variable name is going to be trace hit result, or trace hit enemy, or trace has hit enemy. Yeah, we'll do that, and it is going to be type boolean. So if we drag out of that while holding alt, we can set that, and we're just going to drag it into here as the actor has tag. No, we're not, because we need to add a branch actually. So let's drag out of here, add a branch, connect that up. Right, okay, so now we've added a branch, we're just going to connect it up to here and turn that on. And we're going to select false and duplicate that and select that to be false. So let's add a print string right now, and this is just to debug it, and we're going to put trace hit enemy. Okay, so that's done, and we're just going to test it here. Obviously we haven't set up our actor has tag, so it will not print anything right now. I'm just checking to see if we get any errors, and we do. Okay, now the problem with this is the branch. So I forgot to add this here, so we're just going to drag out of the return value into a branch, and then we need to add another branch for the actor has tag. So let's move this over here, drag out of that, press B to add a branch, connect that to true, true, false is there, and we're just going to, I might change this later, but for now I'm just going to add false to set as false. Right, so let's play this and see if it works. Okay, so I think everything's working. Now if we scroll down here and look at our camera input, we have action value X and Y, and we will be changing all this. So I've just skipped ahead because I've been messing with this for about 48 hours. We're going to drag out the X and drag out the Y, and we're going to get a multiply node, just like this. And I'm going to set the value to 2. So let's just do that. I'm going to duplicate and drag into here. just like that. And this is the part where I was trying to figure out how on earth I did this. So as you can see, I'm just deleting and checking and renaming nodes and making new ones. Yeah, it was not fun. And then when I got to the end, I was like sick of it, so I pressed undo on absolutely everything and went back to where we just added the multiply nodes. So yeah, that was fun. So what we need to do before we do anything is add a is aiming boolean, just like this. And don't worry, we were just at this point before I messed everything up. So what we need to do is right click in the open space after adding that boolean, and out of right mouse button we are going to get pressed and released and set one to true and one to false. So when we press it, it's true. When we release, it's false. Now we can actually go ahead and create the rest of the code that actually works. So we're going to add a branch here, and the condition is that is aiming is true or false. So if we are aiming, obviously we want to use the normal sensitivity just like this, and then if we are, it should stay completely still, just like that. Which means now we can set up the code for when we are aiming and to use the aim assist and basically slow our aim down. So we just need to copy these two multiplication nodes and the add controller your inputs. So we're just going to select everything here, just like that. Hold shift and it will select everything, and then control C and control V will then paste it. So click here and we have basically the exact same thing as what we just had, and we're going to connect the true to this. So this is going to be when we are aiming, and we will add some more booleans on later, so don't worry about that. And we're just going to connect the corresponding values up. So this one is for pitch and this one is for yaw, and as you can see all the values are now set to 1. I don't know if I did say that before, but change every one of these to 1. Just clean everything up. Feel free to just pause and rewind at any time just to double check the code if it's not working, and that looks pretty good. So there is a few things we need to do here. We're just going to print the string just to check if we are using the correct input, and just to check that all the code is working correctly. So I'm just going to print aim assist sense, yeah, that'll do. And then for the false, just going to print again, and I'm just going to put normal sense. And this is just to like debug and check which line of code it's using. So if you just click play, there we go, it's using the normal one, and then when I press right mouse button it will use the aim assist sensitivity. Okay, sweet. So right here I'm going to add a new variable, and it's going to be aim assist modifier, and it's going to be type float. And this is what we're going to be using in the multiplication node here. So we can just drag this in and then we can set a value. So let's just drag that in there and drag it in there just like that. And then if we click, so let me just double check it. Okay, it's acting weird. That's because we have not set the aim assist modifier value. So just click that there. It was supposed to be 0.25. Right, okay, so we're actually making progress. We just need to delete these two print strings here, and out of true, gonna connect these up, and false over here. And in fact, actually no, that's the wrong way around, so we need to change them just like this. So false is going to use the normal sensitivity, and if aiming is true, we're going to use the one that we just created, which is 0.25 the speed. So let's just highlight everything, and we're going to rename this. If not aiming, use normal sense, and we're going to highlight everything else on the other side, and we're just going to name it something like use aim assist sensitivity. So let's just highlight, press C to comment, and if we are aiming, we use a 0.25 multiplier, to lower our sensitivity. That'll do. Just something like that. It's not really that important, but I'm just going to do it for the sake of, if I need to come back to the code, it's just going to be easier to read and easier to find where I need to do certain things. And obviously it'll be easier for you if you're just following this tutorial. So I'm just going to rename a few more things, and this one is going to be set as aiming. It's just in the event graph. Move it over there, and we're going to make this over here. We need to change this here in the actor has tag, and we're going to rename it to enemy with a capital E, and that is very important. Next, we need to add feature content pack, and this is going to be the third person character content pack, and we're just going to use this as a enemy. So press Control Space, and we're going to go third person character, blueprints, BP third person character, press Control and D to duplicate it, and we're just going to rename this BP underscore enemy, like that. So now we have two, and this is the third person one. I've just got to stress that. So we're just going to use this as our enemy, so it's not really that important, but what I want to do is just create a new folder and rename it enemy, and that is going to be inside our content one. I'm just going to drag our BP underscore enemy into our enemy folder, like that. Now double click on this enemy, and he doesn't really look like an enemy, he just looks like the default mannequin. So I'm going to create a new material, and it's going to be called M underscore red. And simply, I'm just going to open it up, click base color, drag it here, change it to red, or some kind of red that looks more orange. Let's just move this like this, and apply, and change the roughness to 0 and metallic to 1. Now it has some like metallic red enemy kind of look, and we're going to apply this to our character. So we'll go to the viewport, and we're just going to select it in the content browser. That is our red material, and as you can see, it just changes our character to red, and now it looks a little bit more like an enemy. Can't decide, even though it's completely not important which one to use, and I think I'm just going to stick with this because it's really just not important. Yeah, that'll do, I guess. Right, let's compile. Go back to our first person map, and in fact actually we need to go back to the BP enemy, and we need to go to tag, so type in tag and add the tag enemy. Now the line trace or the sphere trace will recognize that this player in our map is an enemy, and we're going to delete the camera boom and the follow camera because I don't want that showing in the first person map, and that will do it for now. So let's click compile, and now we can drag our character or our enemy into the map. And as you can see, it's got all the new colours. There's no like camera floating about or anything like that. And if we click play and we use our aim assist, let's hover over it, and it should slow down, but it is not. And the reason for that is because we have not set our code up correctly, and we don't have collision enabled on our BP enemy. So let's do those two things now. First, I'm going to go into the BP first person character. I'm going to drag out the boolean, which is trace has hit enemy. I'm just going to drag that there, and we need to get a and boolean. So let's drag out of this, type in and boolean like this, and we're going to drag is aiming into there, disconnect it from the condition of the branch. Let's just move these correctly, and then we're going to connect that to the condition. So if the player is aiming and the trace has hit the enemy, then we will use the aim assist. So let's just disconnect false here, because I think that was messing something up, and everything else looks pretty good. I can't really see any errors as of now. So let's just click play, and I still forgot to enable the collision. So let's go to our BP enemy and double click, and in the details we can just type in collision, and in collision let's go to collision presets, and I'm just going to use block all. I'm not going to be pretending to be an expert on collision because I really don't understand it. I'm just going to use block all for now, and as you can see, our aim assist is finally working, and it's kind of pulling as we go across the enemy. which is amazing. And this whole tutorial, I basically did it through trial and error and off the top of my head. So I really would appreciate it if you could leave a like and a comment. That would help me a lot. And one thing I did forget to do is we need to add a new boolean, and it's going to be the pickup rifle or the character has weapon. So we need to go into our BP first person character and create a new variable called has rifle, and it's going to be a type boolean. And we only really want this to work if the character has the rifle, or else it makes no sense. So we're going to go back into the BP pickup rifle blueprint, and we're not going to set, we are going to, we don't want to do that. We're going to drag off the as BP first person character right here, drag it here, and we're going to get rifle and set has rifle. So when we pick up the rifle in the map, basically what this is doing is setting it in the player's blueprint so that it knows we now have a rifle in our hands and to use the aim assist correctly. So it will not work right now, and as you can see, it is not slowing down whatsoever. And then when we pick up our rifle, so it's literally not slowing down whatsoever, and when we pick up our rifle it should slow down. So we'll pick it up and let's have a look around and see if it slows down, and I don't think it is. So let's go back into our BP first person character blueprint, and we completely forgot to set the has rifle as a AND boolean. So now we have all these variables, so the trace has hit enemy, the is aiming and has rifle, and if all them conditions are met, then we will use the aim assist. So as you can see, all the conditions are now met, and we are using our aim assist slowdown. So that is working pretty well. If you are interested in any more of my content, do me a favour, click the video in the top right, and I will catch you later. Thank you for watching.